Good morning, Doctor. We are from Group 4. The title of our project is When Prices Keep Rising, the Fight Against Inflation in Malaysia. And these are my group members. The first is myself, Thavamalar Sivalingam. Second, QISTINA. Third, NURNASYIRAH. Fourth, HAZWANI. Fifth, SYAZAIN. Sixth, AFIQ AIMAN. And then seventh, ARIANSYAH.
Hello everyone! Have you noticed that price of food, transportation, and daily necessities seem to be increasing every year?
Definitely. Even buying groceries now costs much more than before.
This phenomena is known as inflation. Today, we will discuss what inflation is, why it's happened, how it affects nations, and what Malaysia is doing to fight it.
Guys, have you seen the latest poster?
No, why?
The poster explaining what inflation is. Inflation refers to a sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services over time. In simple terms, the prices of everyday items gradually become more expensive.
So that mean, the power of purchasing decrease.
That mean, the power of purchasing decrease. Yes, so, as prices continue to rise, the purchasing power of money decreases. This means that the same amount of money can buy fewer goods and services than it could before. Here, you can know more about inflation.
To measure inflation, economists use the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. The CPI tracks changes in the average prices of a basket of goods and services that households commonly purchase, allowing us to monitor inflation over time. Now that we have a clear understanding of what inflation is and how it affects the economy, let's move on to the main causes of inflation and examine why prices increase over time.
What causes inflation?
There are several factors. First, demand pull inflation occurs when consumers demand more goods and services than businesses can supply.
Like when everyone rushes to buy the same products.
Exactly. Second, cost push inflation happens when production costs increase, such as higher fuel prices, wages, or raw material costs. Global events such as supply chain disruptions and geopolitical conflicts can also contribute to inflation.
So inflation is often caused by both domestic and international factors.
Now that we understand what inflation is and its causes, let's discuss an important question. How does inflation affect the daily life of Malaysians?
We often hear about inflation in the news, but how does it actually impact ordinary people?
One of the biggest effects is the increase in the cost of living. When prices rise, households have to spend more money on everyday necessities.
What kind of necessities are affected?
Items such as food, transportation, electricity bills, water bills, and even housing costs become more expensive. And not everyone is affected equally. Low-income households usually face greater difficulties because most of their income is already spent on basic necessities.
So they have less money left for other expenses.
Exactly. When prices increase, families may have to cut back on non-essential spending such as entertainment, dining out, or leisure activities. Some households may even find it harder to save money because a larger share of their income is used to cover daily expenses.
That sounds challenging. Does this mean inflation can lower people's quality of life?
Yes. If inflation remains high for a long period, people's purchasing power decreases, meaning the same amount of money can buy fewer goods and services.
What the central bank should do?
Neela, what is Malaysia doing to control inflation?
Bank Negara Malaysia uses monetary policy tools, including adjustments to the overnight policy rate, or OPR.
How does that help?
When the OPR increases, borrowing becomes more expensive. This helps reduce excessive spending and slows inflation.
What other things that the central bank can do?
They can reduce excessive growth in the money supply through monetary policy operations since too much money circulates in the economy. Consumers tend to spend more, increasing demand for goods and services, thus prices rise.
I also heard central bank can support exchange rate stability through foreign exchange market operations since a weaker Malaysian ringgit increases import costs, which can contribute to imported inflation.
Yes, it's true. They also can provide clear and transparent communication regarding inflation to reduce panic among consumers and sellers.
To conclude, inflation refers to a continuous increase in the general price level of goods and services over time. When inflation rises, the same amount of money can buy fewer products than before. This means that the value of money gradually decreases. Inflation affects our purchasing power and increases the overall cost of living. Households may need to spend more on daily necessities such as food, transportation, housing, and utilities. As a result, families may have to adjust their budgets and reduce unnecessary spending. To manage inflation, Malaysia uses several approaches, including monetary policies, subsidies, targeted financial assistance, and price controls on selected essential goods. These measures aim to stabilize prices, protect consumers, and maintain economic growth. However, managing inflation requires cooperation between the government, businesses, and the public. Understanding inflation helps us make smarter financial decisions, manage our spending wisely, and prepare for future economic challenges. By learning about its causes, effects, and solutions, we can better understand how inflation influences our daily lives and the country's economy.